Bro, how you doing this? You got your drugs. This generation is too complicated. I just want simple things, especially men wise or wise men. That makes sense. Wisdom is so powerful. Wisdom is such an underrated trait. Wisdom is extremely underrated, especially as a man, right? Wisdom helps your woman trust you. Wisdom helps and inspires your woman to want to follow your lead. For her, it's extremely mentally stimulating. But, alright guys, we're going to speak today, right, about the question is, if there's no elevation in the situation, why are you in the situation? Why are you putting up with frustration, right? When you think about yourself and consider, and you say, you're divine masculine, you're divine feminine, what does that mean? It means we're the expression of divinity in human form. We have to move with purpose. That has to be reflected when it comes to relationships. That has to be reflected in your dating life. You said I worked too busy one. Well, I hope it was a good day. When it comes down to it, if there is no election, then it's, or elevation, I'm assuming you mean, then it's a time-wasted matter. There should be no election if they don't fit the selection. Standards, that's what it's all about. The person putting up with something is lacking self-confidence and worth. Exactly, and that's what it comes down to. One of the most important things for both the masculine and the feminine is you have to find your sense of purpose. You have to literally take time to write out or just know what your values are, what your morals are, who you are. Every day you have to wake up, do your affirmations. If you're religious, do your prayers. Really, even if you're spiritual, you kind of do the same thing when you're meditating, when you're manifesting, when you're getting in touch with yourself, when you're working on the healing journey, healing the masculine, healing the feminine. If you are divine feminine, you're divine masculine, but then you getting with what you would say is toxic masculine or toxic feminine, isn't that supposed to be a mismatch? Isn't that supposed to not make sense? I said I meant elevation. What's up, Namita? And what it comes down to is you should see yourself as so valuable, so huge. Be so okay telling yourself you're gigantic when you measure your internal. This generation is obsessed with measuring a man by things outside of himself. Is obsessed with getting women to measure themselves solely by the physical. And a lot of women, they fall for it because it's very affirming to their beauty. And it actually makes them miss out on their inner beauty. Their feminine energy is way more powerful than anything on the outside. Doesn't mean you shouldn't work on your beauty, of course. But at the same time, you must never neglect the internal. Thank you, keep shining for the football. And as you send me that, I want you to comment, who do you want to win the World Cup? Who you rooting for? I feel like when you show yourself an obsession over your accomplishment, then men get intimidated. Well, it depends what you mean, right? Because what in your world is an accomplishment? What is it that you're, conveying? Oh, we're getting a lot of footballs in this. I love it. A whole sucker. We have enough, balls for the whole chat. I love that. Thank you. Appreciate it. All those footballs. A lot of the time it can be a reflection of how one views themselves. Most of the time it's a reflection of how you view yourself. So a lot of people complain, this guy's treating me like that, this girl's treating me like this. Most of the time you can attribute that to how you view yourself. And I'm sure there might even be girls in the chat right now Have you guys been in a situation where, and let's just be honest, you've been with someone for 5 years or something, 3 years, but the majority of the time, if you look back, you say, oh, they was treating me like shit. And I know you want to put accountability onto the other person, but there's no power in doing that. You have to say, how did I get in that situation? I'm a giant. You know, as Mika said up in the chat, I'm gigantic. How did I let myself be in that situation? That ain't me. Enough balls for the FIFA tournament. That's what I'm saying. All of them are right in here. You said I want an underdog team to win and a team that hasn't won in a long time. Ooh, might be rough. Might be rough. T, I'm good. How are you? Flaminia said, because we allowed it. But this is the question. Why did you allow yourself to be in the situation where that happened? You know, one of the things I talk about in the book, Healing the Feminine Energy, is doing that intro, you know, that internal inspection where you're looking inside saying, okay, what was the situation that caused me trauma and that heartbreak or whatever before, so that I can process it. I talk about two things in the book, actually. At one point, is you have to positively process your past and positively perceive, you know, your present and your future. What's up, Layla? Saudi Arabia, you think they'll win? Oh, you're rooting for them. Candy Girl said, I'm just waking up after 10 years. What do you mean? Waking up, like, consciously? What's up, Mary? How are you? You said, Yasmina said, can you give examples of true feminine energy in a famous person so I can see what you mean? Who comes to mind? You know, I would say there's not really many examples of women that I can think of. Like, I could think of certain aspects that they would have. Like, you can see certain aspects of, say, dark feminine energy in Beyonce or something. But examples of, say, light feminine energy, I'd have to think about that for a second. You have to do the shadow work for sure. Can you see my question? I don't know if it got blocked. Send it again. Janae Aiko. That's not a bad example. Danny said, hey, I have recently been told that I don't make men feel needed and have masculine energy. Well, if you first want to uncover if that's true, ask yourself, could you see why they would say that? Like, do they have a point when they say that? And after which time do they say that? Like, after what action? But there's so many micro actions that you might do that could be giving off masculine energy. It's not just the big things, the little things, the very small things. It could even be in your voice, you know. One thing about a woman when she's in her feminine energy is her voice will reflect it. Her voice will be the expression of softness. And if you're a guy, right, and you're listening to this, one of the ways to measure when your girl is internally entering the masculine energy and she's hardening up, you hear it in her voice. Women usually have two different versions of their voice. They'll be in a soft version or a much harder version. Do you have examples of micro actions? Well, I'll give you one example. Let's say that you want to remove, let's say your guy is touching your arm in a way where you kind of don't like it, or let's say you want him to come to you, right? For whatever reason, doesn't matter. But you could actually take his hand and you could yank him. Or you could touch his hand softly, be the expression of softness and gentleness, and guide him slowly. The second one would be much more seductive to a man's inner masculine. But say if you just take his hand, move it, or take his hand and pull it, there's a dominance to it. If you take a woman, you see the reverse of this? If you take a woman by the waist, depending, of course, if she's comfortable and like that's your girl or whatever, and you take her waist and you pull her in, that would be hot to a woman. She'll feel something inside. She'll feel the polarity. But that's exactly why we know a guy usually wouldn't like that. Not all the time, because sometimes your guy might like it when you get busy like that. But a lot of the time, it could come off incorrectly. Adiola said, LOL, true. I said my question, can you see it? I don't think I see it, you know? Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe change a word in that you use, because maybe it's triggering the algorithm to block it. Michelle said, so it's not what you do, but how you do it. Facts. That is exactly the case. You could do, like, I'll give you another example. People say, if I'm a woman, I shouldn't text first. You can absolutely text first. It's the spirit of the vibe which you're conveying when you're doing the texting. So if you wanted to meet up with a guy, you wouldn't necessarily say, Friday, 8 p.m., meet me here. You might actually like that as a woman. Many women say that that's what they like. Just give me the plan. I was watching a video today, and the guy it was like one of those date type of things, like a blind date type of show. And he was asking her, she said, so if we was to go on a date, where would we go? And he said to her, you tell me, where do you want to go? And we already know many girls don't like that, right? And as I'm watching it, I'm like, bro, just make a suggestion, tell her, and she can just accept it or reject it. But the other way around, right? You could say to a guy, like, meanwhile, the girl likes that, but she might say, you know what, I'd love to see you on Friday. Or she could just say, if you want to do Friday, or I'd love to see you sometime, that would be great. And then you give him the opportunity to lead it. You said, what do you think of men who like to be degraded? Is it a mother wound? Well, it depends. It depends on the situation. From what I've seen and what I've studied, a lot of guys who are dominant in their everyday life have when it comes to inside the bedroom, they have that other side of them that wants to be ultra submissive. I can't say for sure if it's a mother wound. I haven't looked into it that much, but I would guess, as far as what I would know, it possibly could have something to do with it. If they like to be, degraded in an extreme way, perhaps. Lily said, delivery is important. Yeah, Mary said, you're right. Adiola said, we like men who lead. I think all women like men who lead, even if they don't know it. Even if consciously they don't, their body does, because it's designed to like it. Lily sending a football jersey. I love that. I love we're getting some footballs. Another football jersey that looks like a Portuguese one. I'm supporting Portugal and Brazil in this one. Well, aside from England, of course. You said makes sense, though. They'd want to let loose of their dominance. But if it's being degraded, like being told you're a pathetic loser, that is almost like hyper submissiveness. Usually in that case, I would say there is always something that has happened before that has triggered that contact. Like something in the past, the context has created the need for that to be expressed in a way, because it's a bit too much. It's excessive. Feminia said, so interesting. First time I encounter with a man who's interested in this path. Nice live. Well, I'm happy you're enjoying it. I hope you tune into the future lives that we do. Today, before we was asking, right, as we were saying, we got to be selective. We got to have very high standards. And you got to think to yourself, if there's no elevation, why are you in the situation? You have the opportunity. It's almost like universe, God, divinity has gifted you someone who can help you get to the next level. And all you wanted was superficial pleasure. All you wanted was short-term gain. So when you get out of this situation, guess what? You look back and you're like, oh, I'm in the same place as before. But you got no one to blame except your own name. Wizio said, hi, you're very handsome. Thank you. How are you? Cornwell Sam, you said, do you think dominance comes down to how big your ego is or not? Not specifically me. Well, it depends what you mean when you're saying ego, but I think you do have to have some level of ego. Like, you probably want your man to have some ego. Do you get what I'm saying? He has to have some level of confidence. And sometimes when a girl has overt excessive masculine energy, it is because of her ego, actually, because she's like, well, I don't feel like how my ego is supposed to make me feel. I feel less than. I like the validation from being that strong, dominant woman. So it's very hard for her to let go. Hold on, let me change this. Feminia said, it's like someone led me to this live. I needed it. See, that's the universe leading you here. Hold on, let me go back up. Nicola said, I read your book. I like that. Hey, where did you get it from? Because if you get it from Amazon, I'd very much appreciate, you putting up a review, and I'll read your review, see what you thought of it. But what was your favorite thing about the book, or what part did you like? Layla said she never looked at it like that. He said, love your point of view. Thank you. That's all good. Can someone's standards be too high? It makes them undateable. Well, I think the point at which it's too high is usually when it's delusional, where it's not realistic. That's a bit different. It's like you want to have high standards, but it has to be realistic. So perhaps from that perspective, you're right, it could make them undateable. What's up, Danny? How you doing? Hold on. Find some copyright-free music. Oh, shit. Beverly Hill says, what's the name of the book? It's called Healing the Feminine Energy. This is the book. It's on Amazon. You can go to the bio link. Helps you tap into your feminine energy. Especially helpful if you've been through some sort of traumas, heartbreaks, neglect, things that you might need to heal from that's keeping you trapped in your masculine energy. Perhaps if you don't have the best perspective on femininity, because a lot of girls think that femininity is a weakness, but we don't believe that over here. We believe it's a power. That's actually one of the sub-chapters. Femininity is a power. Mika said, wait, hold on. Wait, let me go up because I'm missing a lot of stuff. You said your Laurie said go for goal. Faith said not going to lie when I. Thank you, Rebecca, for the hand heart. Right back at you. He said, not gonna lie, when I first saw your live, I thought you were nuts. I'm starting to get you now. That is beautiful. And if you notice, right, when people disagree with me, I don't have no problem. Because really and truly, that is the person I want to reach anyway. I love hearing different perspectives. I love reading a book and not knowing what the hell I'm reading. Because it means that I'm stimulating a part of my brain that I didn't know that needed stimulating, if that makes sense. If you read a book and you agree with everything that was in there, or it did make you think, interesting, that means you didn't learn anything. You just got a reaffirmation of what you already knew, which is not a bad thing. You can have that sometimes. That's a good thing. But I think it's beautiful for us to have different perspectives and together come to the truth. But I do believe I have a brilliant understanding of divinity's design and how that truth can help us. Connie said, hello, what's up? I didn't think about someone elevating me. I was with my ex 23 years and always wanted to be better. Always wanted to be better him. Do you mean you always wanted to better him? Mika said, do you like high maintenance girls? Like nails done, makeup, hair laid, heels? I like a girl that always likes to look on point, I'm not going to lie, but it doesn't have to be so high maintenance. Presentable. Because it keeps me on my toes too. I want to always be presentable. You know, like how people always say like, you want to look nice for other people, then get with your person, and then you don't put in any effort. I don't want to do that. I want to look my best. Do you get what I'm saying? I want them to always be able to look at me and go, damn, that guy's on point. Do you get what I'm saying? I want to keep her on her toes, and I want her to keep me on my toes, because then I'm gonna be inspired. I think that's one of the best things just about women in general, right? I find them extremely inspirational, but I like that. I want to be inspired by the women that are in my life. Georgia, what's up? Thank you. Where you from, Georgia? Okay, let me scroll. Someone said it's in your, the book is in your basket, right? Well, if you get it, I hope you like it. I think you will. You know, the reviews are good so far. Adiola said, I just bought the book. I'm looking forward to reading it. That's good. You know, I hope it helps you on your spiritual journey. Hold on. Okay. Hey, Jenny Lynn. Hey, Bonolo in South Africa. Hold on. What's up, Nadia? Mika said, us women, we can switch it up with just different hair and makeup. Yeah. And that's good. It's like adventurous, right? You always, trying out different looks. You don't get bored. Meek said, my BF does not earn enough to support a family in the future and doesn't want to do anything about it. You mean he doesn't want to, work into becoming the man who can provide for his family? Is that what you mean? Layla said, I want one because better for him. Beauty content creator. Hello. What is your name? Ether666. What's up? Lenny. Hola. We got someone in Philippines. What's your name? Hardy, that's funny. Rebecca, you said, what is the name of the book? This is the name of the book. Healing the Feminine Energy and the Wounds of Your Inner Child. It's the first in what's going to be most likely a 10-part series. So this is the first. We got to heal the things that are covering the feminine energy, because the feminine energy, it needs to create a safe space. Now, a lot of the time, we rely on a man to do that for you, right? But in this, I show you how you don't just have to rely on a man to be expressing your feminine energy. You can tap into it. Of course, to be fully in your feminine energy is great if you have masculine energy in a man, but you also have masculine energy too. So if you can sort out the balance between the masculine and feminine energy within yourself, it helps you embrace that softness. It helps you embrace vulnerability, gentleness, softness, and all of these things. Robin, how are you? I hope you're doing good. I'm doing very good. Has your day been very good? Queen K, what's up? Mr. Libra. You remember, to be honest, I do be saying it a lot on the lives. Dale, what's up? Dim Sun Queen, what's your name? Shia said, Shia wants to have 30 kids. Do you think you could have 30 kids? What's up, Kim? If you just come in the room, right, we was asking this earlier. I want to ask you guys something, and I want you guys to think about this. The question, because we're thinking about being selective, we're thinking about high standards. This generation has told you to lower your standards so you can be liberated. But you can't be liberated if there's a bunch of losers out there. So who are you really liberated with? We have to have high standards, right? So if there's no elevation in the situation, you need to leave that situation before you experience frustration. And that really goes for guys and girls. It is different, right? The effects of having no standards is different for guys and girls. But when it comes down to it, I want elevation. If her presence can't help me improve, help me get better, help me get more knowledge, help me get more health. And this is also one of the reasons why it's so interesting. I see a little bit, in, the red pill communities, and I get what they're saying. But there's this, it's both really. We'll talk about the red pill. In the red pill, there seems to be the intent to make the girl know you don't need her. And fair enough, I get, because a man should be able to be independent. He should be able to, grow even without his woman, because it's like he's on a movie, he's on a mission, and she joins it. She wants to join it, and she wants to be included in it. She wants to help it. But you don't want your woman to feel like she's not an important part of the mission. So when you said red pill is like a section of the manosphere, or the group, the side of the internet where, it's men trying to discover and learn about dating, the feminine nature, biology. So in terms of how things are supposed to be, or all of that stuff, right? And the only issue with that is great that men want to learn. I love it. I respect it. But the only bad thing, right, is that it's coming from a hurt place. Where is that? I love that. Thank you, Mary. Spaghetti kiss. I was like, what is that? But I was saying the only bad thing is that it's coming from the same place where on the opposite side, you have the feminists that are so focused on strong and independent to the point where now you're being hyper independent. It's not empowering. It's not helpful. You just wanted to be alone, and now you can only get the benefits of what you bring to the table. One of the best things about making your woman feel like she's an important part of the mission is that she's inspired to help you grow. She's inspired to help you grow. She wants to bring you new things. Baby, I'm working on this. She hears that and she's like, okay, I saw this documentary that might help you. You might want to read it. I watched it for you. And this is what they said. I think that's amazing. And you want to do the same thing with your man. You want to encourage him, right? You want him to feel like, yeah, he is the king leading the mission. Talk that into his ear. I call it the Queen's whisper. You can talk who a man can be into his ear. He starts seeing himself like, yeah, you right, babe. You right. And then he wants to elevate. But guess what? It benefits you because you're part of the team. He elevates and he helps you grow. Can't finesse said encourage each other. That's what I'm saying. And that's what the partnership, that's what divine partnership is. It's not just superficial levels. Oh yeah, I'm just being inside you and experiencing a little bit of pleasure, and that's it. That's a joke. That's a joke. Divinity blessed you with a partner that can help you, help you grow, and you just want to have temporary pleasure. Come on, man. We wasting it. Laddie said, hi, babes. What's up? Laurencia, hi from Trinidad. What's going on? How is it in Trinidad today? I love that spaghetti kiss. That was funny. Okay, your name is Shanaz. It's nice to meet you, Shanaz. I want when I leave you, say, how can I breathe with no air? I might play that song for you. Rebecca, you said, wait, hold on. Is the book written by yourself? Yeah, it is. It is. You see it right here, by Reemus. Jenny said we should be able to complement each other. Facts. Sabrina, bonsoir. Layla said, I love that, the Queen's Whisper. So I'm saying that's what it's about. That is what it's about. Lily said the Queen's Whisper is the perfect way to put it. It exactly is. And I'm from London, by the way. Layla said, how are you doing? I'm very good. Today, we've been speaking about standards, selectiveness, heightening those standards so it's huge as you want to be and as huge as your man wants to be. Of course, not unrealistic, right? We don't want to be delusional, but we just want to make sure there's elevation in the situation. Because I think it was, who was it? Someone just said, Layla just said, I wasted so much time. You don't want to come out of a situation and then be like, I'm in the same place as before. I haven't elevated, and all of that time, energy, and attention was spent, right? But it wasn't invested, so I'm in the same place. And remember the words that we use. We say spend. So I always say this. These are currencies of the universe, currencies of life. You spend your time. You pay attention. We don't want to just spend it, right? We want to invest it. Just like you put money into a stock and it rises, you want the value of your time to do the same thing. Flamini is from London too, okay. Angelic, greetings from Leicestershire. Shout out Leicestershire. I think that's very far from London. Sabrina said, ça va? I'm very good. How are you? I'll respond in French, even though, in English. But I've decided I do want to learn French. So if anyone, if you're multi-bilingual and all of that stuff, I want to learn. Someone just said, are you a passport guy? That's funny. Because you know what's funny? I decided today I want to go around. I want to go to Asia, then I want to go to South America. I'll stop off at Guyana. That's where I'm from. Yesterday was Portuguese. Yes, it still is Portuguese. Portuguese is at the top. Today, I downloaded the apps. Like I downloaded Duolingo, Babbel, a couple others. I don't even know the name. What's up, Lillian? You're stepping in here when we got 6.7 likes, K likes. Miss V was putting in work. Feminia said I can teach Italian. So really, I've got a lot on my list because I want to learn Portuguese, Spanish, then Italian, French, and I might still learn Japanese. I don't know though. But Portuguese and Spanish is up there. It's like highly up there. Does anyone in here speak another language? Celine. All right, you can teach Arabic and French. I'm down for that. So are you able to speak Arabic fluently then? Like you can understand it, like read the Quran in Arabic? Hola, mi llamo Angela. Hello, my name is Angela. J'appelle Angela. Hello, yeah, I understand. What's up, Cindy? Oh yeah, you can speak Kurdish too. Alright, you can speak a lot. Mira, Mira, that is, I wasn't expecting that. Clara can speak Italian. Okay, we got some Italian in here. Yes, I need that for when I go to Rome. Firminia can speak Spanish, Portuguese. Oh, Spanish, Portuguese is similar. Yeah. Spanish only. Yeah, Spanish is good. Because if I go to Brazil, I'm thinking I can go around, Chile, Argentina, the other places. Zulu, sure. You can't read in Arabic. Fair enough. It's probably hard. Patois when you're cussing. Nova May, what's up? How are you? You're from the Philippines. Georgiana said I can help you with Spanish and Romanian. Okay. Spanish, I would love that. Romanian, I wouldn't mind. Carla is from Kazakhstan. She said I'm from where? I'm from London. Celine, you said do you use Insta? I do. I'm gonna write it in the chat. It's the same as my TikTok. So my Instagram is the same as my TikTok. Hold on. Hold on. Let's go back up. Oh, Lily started learning Arabic. How comes? Someone said divine feminine talk. What's the note? I got to write it down. Earlier we were speaking about standards, selectiveness, and we was asking the question, or saying that you have to ask yourself the question when you're dealing with someone or you're in a situation, right? You have to say, if there's no elevation, why am I in this situation? Because you're going to leave the situation and have hella frustration. Shona, what do you want to ask? Nova May, you said, I'm fine. What about you? I'm very good. Right now, I still have a bit of energy in me. I'm sure half an hour from now, tiredness is probably going to start setting in. But we'll keep going hard until then. Faith said, I'm at the end of my relationship. I get that part of the demise was my masculine energy. That's great, because it means that I can tell you're truthful with yourself. You said, I want to heal, but the book seems to be about relationships and not individual healing. Well, the interesting thing about that is the book is mostly not about relationships, actually. The book is mostly about individual healing, because I wanted to prove a point. That you don't have to fully rely on a man to be in your feminine energy. You can actually tap into your feminine energy without a man. Now, of course, to be fully in your feminine energy, it's much better, and you are going to kind of need masculinity around you, usually in the form of a man. But actually, to attract that type of man, you have to already be expressing feminine energy. So this is actually more, the second part of the title is called, the first part is called Healing the Feminine Energy. The second part is called And the Wounds of Your Inner Child. So really it's about healing what you've been through, or having that deep introspection to look inside and say, hey, what is inside? What have I been through? How do I think? Why do I think this way? Who has planted these thoughts into my head? Has it been me? Has it been society? Has it been people who had the best interest for me? So it's a deep dive into yourself, and the later ones, we're gonna of course, talk more about relationships because everyone cares about that. But we talk about relationships mostly because that is why a lot of people will listen. They're very interested in that. Thank you, Mary. Finger hearts. I'm giving you a finger heart right back. So yeah, Faith, there's a lot of like exercises. Generational. Yeah, so there's a lot of exercises in each chapter, just helping you to actually internalize the information rather than it just being information that you read. So it helps you actually say, okay, let me bring that into my life. Let me add a bit of a practical element to it. And you said, is there an ebook or Audible? So on Amazon, the book is Kindle version and paperback. But if you want a PDF version, so you can read it on your phone, then that's in the link in my bio. And it's not on Audible, but the audio book is also the link in my bio. So you can just access the files. Scorps, does that mean you're a Scorpio? But she said communication is key. It's facts. A lot of people say that though, and they don't actually live up to it. And we're going to speak about this on one of the next lives, right? Because we're going to speak about communication, but we're actually going to speak about honesty. Honest communication. Because a lot of people, we call a relationship is about relating. That's why it has relate in the word. But a lot of people aren't honestly relating. Let me go back up because I missed what someone was saying. Someone was asking a question. My partner was wild. Even. Oh yeah, Shona, it comes down to what the other people were saying too, which is communication. But if you want to, that seems like more of a specific, detailed kind of situation. So usually when it comes to that stuff, it's better to book a one-on-one, and then I can talk with you. I can listen and you can express, and I can give you perspectives, tips to help you with that. So usually for very specific situations like that, it is better to do one-on-ones because it's a bit more complex and detailed. Arij, is that how I say your name? But you said, see, I love that. And I think when you're already in feminine energy, you attract masculine energy. That's definitely facts. See you later, Layla. And you don't want to rely on someone else to be in that correct energy, because then that's too much power for what's outside of you. And one thing I always talk about when it comes to, being a quality masculine man and a quality feminine, basically, you want to measure your worth from the internal, not from the external. And the greatest thing you can do is have the most power, self-control over your internal, rather than giving it to the outside world. Sim said, why do men dismiss you when you were right? What do you mean? Like, was you, did you say something to the guy you're speaking to and you was right and he dismissed? Thank you for the rose. Sashanique and Sim, I appreciate it. Sanam, how are you? Good evening. But yeah, when it comes to dismissing each other, that's a communication issue too. And a lot of that stems from ego. And one of the best things you can do is put in place the mindset of teamwork. Because then it makes each person's contribution to the team important. So when someone shares their perspective, it's really appreciated because it can only help the team. Diaga, I hope I said your name right. You're from Poland. What's up? Estrella, I'm good. How are you? How's your day been? Ellie Manuel, nice to meet you. In Ghana. What's the weather been like in Ghana today? Yes, Lily said, welcome everyone, we love it. We always have positive energy in our lives, I don't know if it's like that in other people's lives, because, I'm not sure, but our life always has, I'm sure we have the best energy. And watch it as we continue to grow, because we got the best information out there, or at least at the top. There's so much purpose in what we talk about. Celine said, what's your opinion on situationships and when do you think exclusivity should happen between two? Well, the last bit I can't say for other people, but definitely it should never be forced. Definitely shouldn't be forced, but situationships, it depends. I'm for anything that guarantees elevation. As we were saying before, the question of today for anyone who missed it is, if there's no elevation while you're in a situation. So if that situationship doesn't bring elevation, I'm personally not going to be too interested in it, but that's me. He said, I can't wait to experience the winter. I don't want to experience the winter, I'm not going to lie, because I'm from London. An old African proverb, your vibe attracts your tribe. It's very true. It's very true. But Celine, what made you ask that question? What do you mean when you say elevation? Well, elevation is you being in a better position than before, but in the thing that you value. So people value different things. Your journey is different to other people, right? Someone might really highly value finances, but another person might highly value their healing journey and their connection to spirituality or their religion. Another person might highly value their health. It could be physical health or even mental health. So it really depends on the person and what they personally value. But the best thing is to be in a situation where you guys are aligned to some extent on some sort of mission or some sort of journey. Hold on. Narcissistic partner, though, is in a league of their own. I was in a bad relationship with a very toxic, controlling guy who wanted me to settle, but I left him and started working on self-love. Self-love is always the key. You said, hi, Delia? Hope I said your name right. Hi from Romania, charismatic man. What's up? Someone else was said they speak Romanian in the chat too. I think I actually would go to Romania. Dolo's from Spain. What's up? Hola. Joanna's in Arizona. Celine said, situations are so common these days and exclusivity isn't as much. Usually it's seen as by 3 months. What do you mean usually it's seen as by 3 months? A guy should claim you as girlfriend. If he doesn't, then it's viewed as a time waster. Well, we can speak about situationships, more in detail on another time, right? But I think that is also heavily linked to standards too. It's hard for me to talk on situationships because I don't really know what that means to a lot of people. It means a lot of different things to different people. All I know is about, we have situationships. I only know about missionships. That's what I want to know. And exclusivity isn't as much. Well, that also is a topic we can dive deep into, Because at the end of the day, right, the truth is that like the way people think about exclusivity, they do it from a mythical, fantastical point of view. Because there's two different aspects to it, right? Generally, the human race is not even built for exclusivity in general, right? When you look at actual animals that live like that, if aliens looked down and said, hey, do we think this is an exclusive species? They would not say that about humans. But then the other side of it is that because of social media and all of this stuff, there's almost like so many places to look where everyone's just wants superficial, short-term pleasure, which is kind of linked to what we're saying in many ways. So it's like, I could go there, I could go there, I could go there, I could go there, I could go there. There's no building. Lillian said, what's permission ships? No, I said mission ships. Like you're on a mission. You said penguins mate for life, don't they? Well, that's a misconception because they're like humans. They can pair bond and they value pair bond. She said there's animals like penguins that are exclusive. Penguins engage in infidelity. Did you know that? So I can't remember what zoo they was doing the study on, but it was a group of 4 pairs, right? And what they found was that in 2 of the 4 pairs, the females got with the males that they deemed, obviously, the high-value penguins in that group, which is really no different to humans. 3 to 5% of mammals are actually monogamous. Did you know that? 3 to 5%. How do you think humans fit in that? We definitely value pair bonding, but we're not like what people think the penguins are like. And the penguins aren't even like how people think the penguins are like. Momo Boo said, how are you? I'm very good. How are you? I'm going hard until this energy drops. My energy will soon drop soon, guys. But hopefully we hit 20k by that time. Lily said, oh, penguins is out here cheating. That's funny. Next time I'll get the name of the study. What's up? Tay N. I bet they don't let you pay for nothing when you go out. That's funny. Yeah, superficial, and that is like there's always something bigger and better. That's a good point. Tati Bassetto said hi. She's in Brazil. We was just saying before, because I said I'm going to Brazil and I'm learning Portuguese. Portugal's closer to London, so I might stop off first at Portugal. Stay there for a bit. Monkiss 333, thank you. Celine, I'm trying. Come to San Francisco when you're done with Brazil. Could do. You never heard too many things about San Francisco, but it seems like a chilled type of place. Kind of like how I'd think about New Orleans, but New Orleans does seem to have quite a a richer, authentic character to it. He said Portugal is lovely, been there a couple times, have good friends over there. Nice. Yeah, I've been there once. You look like Tay-C, that French artist. I'll type it in. He said, Niels has said, "How I don't understand. How do you have racism if you're so handsome?" That is funny. Miss Melly, I don't think that I look like Tay-C or Tace. Taiki. You said, I'm definitely going to NOLA in next summer. Okay. Tayan, you said, so San Francisco is very chilled. So, Miss Melly, are you from France? Vanessa said, what's your home country? UK. I was born and raised here, so London, England. And this whole time we've been speaking about selectiveness, standards, we've been asking that question, if there's no elevation in the situation, why are you in that situation, right? It actually stops you from having bitter experiences. Someone said earlier, I think it was Michelle, she said, your vibe attracts your tribe. And when you lower your standards, it messes with your vibe. And we'll talk about another thing, right? Oh, you're from Holland. Okay, that's very close to London. Vivania is from Sweden. When it comes to standards, right? You have to have the confidence to draw the line and say, I have to reject this. Now, I'll ask you a question. What takes more confidence? If you fancy someone, you're attracted to them, you're like, I want some of that. But because the situation just it doesn't elevate you, isn't beneficial, you can see that it's not really gonna, it's not gonna be a beneficial situation, and you say, nah, I gotta reject. They ain't coming correctly, I gotta reject that, right? Or you lower your standards from the type of situation that you want to experience. You lower the standards and have them, right? Just temporarily. But they take up that space. And remember, you spend your time and energy. The first one takes more confidence. Do you get what I'm saying? If a girl is super pretty, just looks super fine, but let's say she just doesn't know how to interact with me in a way that I think is appropriate or that's good for me, and I say, you know what, I'm gonna have to let that go, and she wants me, but I have to let that go, that takes more confidence to do than to give in. Do you get what I'm saying? And this is what happens. Someone said it also depends on what you're looking for. Facts, right? So you take that confidence into the next situation, because I will know I didn't lower my standards. One of the reasons why I love femininity so much is because I've experienced it with the women I've been with in the past. I've experienced the beauty of feminine energy. I've seen it up close. I couldn't hate or have a hateful bone towards women if I tried, because I've seen too much. I've seen how helpful it is. I've seen how it came to uplift me. I've seen... No, I think you're correct. I've seen the feminine energy up close. It's benefited me. It's helped me. It's been there for me. And I couldn't have situations like that if I didn't increase and have my standards up higher. So then now I take it into the next situation. I've been in this situation. I have to maintain that standard. So even if she come to me and she's super bad, You know, she a super baddie. It don't matter. I don't measure a woman just based on the external. It has to be the internal. Because I've already been with the baddie who also came with the beauty of feminine energy. What's up, Lillian? Alex said, I'd say it takes self-love to know when to walk away from something that isn't right for you. Facts. That's what I'm saying. And that's why it's the higher quality thing. Just imagine this. Imagine you're a royalty. You must think about yourself like that. Think like that. Think I'm royalty. Don't just say and write on social media, I'm a queen. How does a queen speak? How does a queen walk? How does a queen move? How does a king speak? How does a king move? What does a king allow in his kingdom? They have to come correct when they come in the kingdom. What's up, Alita? Lily said, would you be with one or multiple? That's interesting. I would ask you, do you think the average man, generally, do you think it's that, let's say you just took the average man, right? It's funny because we already know the answer to this question, because when you watch music videos, it's so interesting when you have the one man and you have the girls all over him and all of that stuff. If someone said, yes, outwardly radiates, inwardly determines, number one rule to land the dominant gentleman. See you later, Celine. West said, women want men that other women desire. Facts. I was watching a video today, right? And the girl said, I couldn't be with a guy that I just knew that he thought that he couldn't get other women. Beauty content creator said, most men struggle with monogamy. I'm not convinced men were created to be monogamous. Well, then one of the next videos, I live by biblical principles, so it's a bit different perspective for me. So are you talking about Isaiah 4:1? Are you talking about Deuteronomy 21:15-17? Are you talking about Exodus, where it puts out how a man practicing polygyny is properly supposed to do it? How he's supposed to give the rights and his resources to the child of the second wife, even if he likes the second wife more, as much as he does the first? Are you talking about Chronicles, where there are multiple mentions, up to 44 men with multiple wives? Are you talking about that Bible? Rebecca said, the more inner work you do, you will naturally raise your vibration, aligning correctly. That is facts. That's why people always ask, where can I find that type of person? Where can I find that type of person? When what you need to do is ask the question, who are you? Who are you? That's all you have to do, and keep working on that. When you work on yourself, your standards naturally increase. You said that's ego, though, not divine masculinity. Divine, well, when we think about divine, right? How did the divine design humans, nature? And there's a purpose behind everything. One of the things that I love about studying the masculine and feminine, because every day I get a closer understanding, a deeper understanding of how it's just such a beautiful team. Like, I see, okay, so it works like that. Okay, so that benefits this. Oh, that makes it a perfect team. Everyone wants to be the same. No one wants to embrace gender differences. But it's the differences that make the team work. Oh, Faith said, see you later. See you later. Wes said the guy doesn't have to exercise options, but it's the fact that he can make him attractive. I would even go as far to say it really doesn't make a difference. It's actually a A woman cares about what she's receiving. Whenever a woman's getting jealous, do you know what she's really thinking? What am I losing out on? When a man is getting jealous, you know what his genes are programmed to make him think and feel? What if she has a baby by another man and you put your resources into that baby, which is not yours, so that your genes do not continue on? Her thing is, hey, what if he invests emotionally, financially into another woman and it takes away from me and my genes, i.e. my baby? So the woman should be calm with her man cheating because it's natural. Good luck with that. One of the last videos on my page actually said specifically a masculine leader doesn't cheat. You should definitely watch that. Cheating requires lying. You cannot be that guy if you have to lie. A man doesn't lie because a man is the expression of truth. One of the components of the masculine energy, we say it's solar energy. When a man's speaking truth, that's exactly what he's doing. He's illuminating verbally with his voice, with his words. He's speaking what exists into reality. Beauty content creator said, when you work on you, it's another level. You aren't willing to compromise your peace. And that's what I'm saying. The only way you do want to deal with someone is if there is elevation in the situation. And as we said before, it takes more confidence, right? It takes more confidence to say no to a situation that you know would be pleasurable. It takes more confidence to say no. Thank you, Mary, for the roses. You could just say, let me lower my standards just so I can have this one experience here. Nah, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. So many people complain about what's out there. Oh, the bar is low, the bar is low. Up your standards. You don't have the bar low. You don't have to worry about that. Virgo Nation, I love this subject matter. I'd love to join this chat. What do you mean, like, come up and, like, speak? I've never actually done that. Bezzy said eyebrows on eyebrows on fleek. Well, I suppose that's a good thing. Her, what's your name? He said, what's the beard routine? Sometimes I put coconut oil on it, but I make sure I brush it and stuff. And like I proper wash it. I think sometimes guys don't properly wash it like they would their hair. What's up, Mo? What's going on? Lily said, lowering your standards is why so many people are resentful these days. This is facts. It goes back to what I was saying. If you keep your standards high, the quality of your experiences are high. So you don't have much to complain about. So it's very hard for me to complain about women because I keep the standards high. The only time you'll see me complaining, at least, I can't even use the word. It felt wrong when I used the word complain. I'm like, oh, something didn't feel right. You know what that is? That's the masculine energy. A man's not supposed to complain. It irked me when I said that word. But if I do say something that has a complaining type of nature, it would be a woman who hasn't passed the barrier. Do you get what I'm saying? It would be before that. And it's okay because I have to let her go. So she don't get past the barrier to entry. The barrier to entry has to be high. That's why 80 to 90% of men are unattractive to women, because women want the top 10%. Well, we'll speak about this stuff on another live. Like, we'll go into detail about it. But I'll leave you with this. If you look at the Tinder activity of women, right? All of the women swipe up, like, except the top 5% of men. While 90 to 95% of the men, they get rejected. can women and men be friends? All right, I want to ask you guys a question. I'm going to ask it to you. Hold on. Hold on. User 695, what's your name? Hold on. Hola, Linda. All right. If you guys think men and women can just be friends, right? And one of them's not thinking something more, I want you to press 1. If you think, so if they can just be friends and they're not thinking anything more, press 1. If they can't just be friends, press 0. Someone said, I don't think we truly can because every male friend I've had wanted more. Well, we know you're pressing a 0 then. Wes is going off in that chat, spitting them facts. Go on, Wes. Holding it down. Lily said, impossible, 0. I am blessed said, to be honest, I used to think so. What made you change? So, okay, wait. This is a fair. I see Tara saying 1, Rebecca saying 1, B saying 1, Wes 0, Linda said 0, Lily said 0. Let's see what we got here. I think 1 only possible if it's a family friend you grew up with. Well, I've got some surprises to tell you then. If you think that's true, I got some surprises to tell you then. I've got 0. Once puberty hits, everything changes. I love that. That's funny. Mo's having deja vu. Mo, did you vote? I want to see your vote. What do you think? Rebecca said 0. So if you're just coming in the chat, guys, we're asking if men and women can just be friends, press 1. If they cannot be friends, just friends, no one's thinking something more, wants something more, press 0 if they can't. You said, I always thought we were friends, and then they profess their love. You know, it's funny. It's just like the movies, right? And Angelic said, men are hunters. Facts. Just like the movies, right? Which shows the guy in school, friends with the girl, and then she just, he declares her love, and she's like, yes, oh my God. I've been dealing with all these a-holes before, and you was just right here, and why didn't I see you? Let's get together. Tammy said 1. Okay, you think people, men and women can just be friends? RC, we was asking, right? Can men and women just be friends? If you believe so, write 1. If they cannot just be friends, write 0. Linda said they can start as friends, but eventually feelings get involved. That's an interesting thing to say, because you could say it's flipped. When a man just sees you and he sees you based on your attractiveness, physical attractiveness, he's going to have more ideas in his head. And over time, maybe he just doesn't care about those looks. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying this is a way it could be. Mary said 0. Janice Summer said 1. Lily said, I would like it to be 1, but in my experience it's always 0, which means 0 then. Loudy means 1. Tammy in Scotland, what's up? Lily said, I laugh at the girls that be talking about their male best friends are okay with just being pals. Angelique said, men invest for a purpose alone. That's funny. Mary said, is in Edinburgh. I'll see that. I love starting as friends, then bam. Sassy and classy. Oh my, that accent from Philly. Lily, you're from Philly, aren't you? Got some Philly up in the house. Miss Volvo said 0. Mage, is that how I say your name? You said 1. Why'd you believe 1? Alex said 1 as well. Angelique just seems like she's like, okay, I know men. I know what men are like. All right, but we've had some guys in the chat, and it's interesting. The girls should be watching what the guys say. Mo said, realistically, it's a 0. Generally, we can all associate with each other. It's the bond that will become within y'all that makes it a 0. Okay, we got some Irish in here. RC, what's your name? You said my beard needs balancing. I'll tell my barber next time I go. Teresia, you said half and half. And half. You might get interested in her. But if that's the case, is that really... Isn't that like a 0 then? If you're happy with your next and the ex knows that, yeah, okay, good luck with that. The person with the sun emoji, is your name Kaja? We was asking, can men and women just be friends? Someone asked this in the chat, actually. So Martine as well. If men and women can just be friends, put 1. So that means they're not thinking anything extra, wishing something would happen. Right? If they can just be friends, press 1. If they cannot, and there will always be something, press 0. Lily, I'll answer it. I'll answer it and another time. I'll leave it mysterious. I'll leave it mysterious for now. But all I'll say is this. I go with Divinity's design. It's just about giving a woman security that takes away any issue or anything that makes her uncomfortable. Lily said, tap the screen. Yeah, I tend to agree with Lily. Michelle's like 0. You said it's never completely innocent. What's your name? Loudy Baby. We said, can men and women just be friends? If you believe so, press 1. If not, 0. And when we say just friends, it means no one's thinking anything more. Like, they wish they could get with that person. Kaja, you have to put either 1 or 0. If I forced you. I think men and women can be friends if the man is gay. I think that tells you it. Trig said 0. See, I'm telling you, ladies, we should, let's look at what the guys are saying here. Ellie Rose said 0. Someone said we're looking at 20K. Let's do that, family. Hey, let's do that. 16.3K. Just tap that screen, double tap it a couple times, boom. We can get up to that 20K. Martine said definitely 0. She's had some experience. She knows. She's seen some stuff. Louise said 0. Because guys are insecure of other men, which is why they are saying 0. Interesting. If another man, let's say this, if another girl, let's say you was in something where you both agreed exclusivity. That's the situation, right? You both said exclusivity, and your man was in a situation where another woman wanted him, right? But she said just friends. Would it be insecure of you to say that they couldn't just be friends, or like they not telling him that that's what you can do, but to say, hey, you guys aren't really just friends? And I'm not saying my opinion. I'm just giving an alternative perspective. That's all. Martine, one huge experience. See, I knew it. We became best friends, fell in love, and then the feelings we had ruined. So did you both fall in love? Veronica, thank you for the rose. Tara said, can they be friends after a hookup where nothing came of it? Well, I think one of the best ways to answer this question, right, is, ladies, let me ask you a question. The male friends that you have in your life, If you hooked up with them, let's say like Tara said, and then you stopped. Good night, Eva Marie. So, if you offered him a hookup, do you think he would take it? That's to all the girls in the chat. And guys, you can answer what you think too. If a girl offers the male friends generally, right, in her life, said, hey, I broke up with this guy, oh, he's annoying me, I just want a night of fun. Do you think that he would say no? Press 0. If you think he would take it, even if he was friends for 10 years and you was just friends. If he would, press 1. Oh, Martine said it was me who fell in love, but he definitely had close emotional attachment to me. Oh, that's interesting. That's actually interesting. So it ruined the friendship then. Wes said, I bet they wouldn't be friends with you after they hook up. All right, we're seeing a bit of 1. Most men will mess with anything walking. Elise say yes 100%, but depends how they see you. So you think, in what situation would it take for them to say no? I'm gonna reject your advance. Wes said, hell yeah, he would take that. Eva said 1, Linda said 1, Sim said 1, Bless said 1. Tara said, of course they would. Mage said they would. Okay, I think we're all in agreement with this one. If they don't like you like that, that's actually kind of an interesting point. So what it really comes down to then, in that case, is Mage said, I won't hook up with my male friends because it will ruin our friendship. But the question would your male friends hook up with you if you offered it? That's really the question. If they don't like you like that, okay, so think about what that really means. That means he has to not find you physically attractive, and then he won't do it. But if he does, and we already kind of know that a guy doesn't even have to insanely think that you're super attractive. He could just think you're mildly attractive. He might even not really be that into you in terms of thinking that you're that attractive. He could just think you're just normal. And he would still most likely do it, right? Hold on. Is that Poland we got in the house? What's up? Phenomenal woman said 1. Most of them will go for it. Lala is in California. Hola. Elise said, can't you be attracted and not want to be intimate? I love that question. What is the reason that we have to think about this? What is the reason for any interaction or physical partnership and so on? For a man, his genetics register it as a win if he hooks up with you, because that's all he takes. That's all that's required for him to continue on his genes. Everything that we do when it comes to dating, for the most part, is our genes just registering, hey, is this person a good source for us to combine genes with? Can this person increase our reproductive success? The success of our genes becoming immortal. That's all that's happening. For a man, right, he doesn't need more than just to be attracted to you. He doesn't need more than just to be attracted to you to want to be intimate. Because for him, it's a genetic win. As someone else said in the chat, I can't remember who it was, but someone said women are built different. There's less emotional attachment. You say, so you're speaking biologically. How much does culture change that? Well, actually, I would say this: biology is the heaviest influence, right? Arguably with the spiritual side, but in what we can really measure, biology is the heaviest influence on human behavior. You have biology, then you have psychology, then you have culture and sociology. For example, you could socialize men and women to be a certain way, but if their biology says something else, they're going to go with the biology. Do you get what I'm saying? So for a man, all he needs is to sleep with you. That's it. You get pregnant, it's a genetic win, and then you have his kid. That's a win for him. There's more chance of his genes surviving on. For a woman, you need the emotional attachment or some sort of value. The man needs to communicate value in terms of his character and who he is, and also value in terms of the experience that he can give you. That's what women register. If you're a man listening to this, it's great for you to learn that is what attracts a woman. A woman's not going to be like, oh, he looks good, and that's it most of the time. For most of the time, she's going to register who is his character and what is the experience of his life. Because she looks at it, someone sent me something. Let me just say thank you. Thank you, Simsima, for the rose. So what happens is she has to register some sort of win where it's like, hey, it's a protective mechanism. Nature's saying, well, if you had a baby with him, right, could he help you then survive? And as Simsima said, and can he lead? Exactly. He's leading you into security, just as Wes said, so that she can feel secure. If you actually had a baby with a man in natural conditions, thank you, Monique. If you had a baby under natural conditions and he couldn't do those things, or he wasn't that type of guy, it would actually be your death. Did you know that? Because you would have the baby and you would have no one to hunt for you. You'd have to try to raise a baby and try to hunt at the same time. Women don't want to be throwing spears as it is. You don't want to do that just after you've had a baby. That's the reason why there's an instinctive need for a woman to have a provider, just as Angelique said. Now, provider, stability. It makes sense. So you said before about culture. What is the influence of culture? We live in a time where, for the most part, a woman can go work, right? She can go work. But you still look for a man, or still prefer a man who is wealthy, because of the instinctive biological need for a man who can take care of you. Your genes aren't going to... See, the thing about culture is culture can change. You travel across the land, culture changed. 10 years from now, the culture changed. Do you get what I'm saying? Biology, the genetics, it can't rely on our minds thinking, oh, so I want it to be like this, because the genes would just die off. So when we talk about culture, it's the mind of that land, that environment. But but it can be manipulated, it can change. The genes ain't got time for our little thoughts. They're like, no, this action is going to lead to the most reproductive success. Do this thing. Activate, chemicals released, hormones released, boom. You get a feeling in your head. But the feeling came from biological conditions creating the conditions for you to have those thoughts. So when you look at what a woman is attracted to, what is she attracted to? She's attracted to the things that in natural conditions would have helped her to survive. And for a man, he's attracted to the things that would help his genes be reproduced. Beauty is not just social. It can be adjusted according to, times. But generally, for the most part, beauty is a communication. It's a subconscious indicator of health, fertility, and youth. All things that would help his genes to continue on. And actually, women like older men. She's registering, as Wes said earlier, ambition, his ability to make her secure as a man grows older. It helps him to be in a position to help her survive. What's up, crown jewels of the Most High? Mary said, I'm here mixing up this mac and cheese for the oven with a smile on my face. So good, this info. So it's about understanding. We have to understand What is the mission of the genes? And then we can have some control over it. That helps us, as we said earlier, before what we was talking about, if you just came in, earlier, like an hour ago, we was talking about selectiveness. If there's no elevation in the situation, don't be in that situation when it comes to the relationships. You don't want to be in a situation where there's no growth. When we understand these things, right, that drive our attraction, that drive us to be with that type of guy, we know what we're looking for, so we can kind of guide it. We can kind of control it. We also know what we need to help, because the genes make sense. The genes like, be with that guy, he will help you survive. For the genes and a guy's looking at a girl, be with that girl. She's going to help your genes survive. But the genes don't know we're living in this concrete jungle. It thinks we're living in the actual jungle. It doesn't know we're living in, 2022, where there's skyscrapers and buildings. So it has a bit of trouble interpreting the environment, which is why where our mind comes in. And this is how you be divine masculine, divine feminine. You add consciousness to the biological primal programming. What's up, Kim? Young men seem to like older women. You know what's interesting? In one of the studies, right, it showed a certain age group, right, that men found attractive, and even the younger men and the older men both found that group attractive. That age group, that is. But women generally like older men. Sare's braids came in at the right time. Love that. Messi or Ronaldo? You know what? I want Ronaldo to I kind of want Ronaldo to win the World Cup just to see him happy. I think he deserves it. Glenda, what's up? Layla, yes, that is so right. Don't understand the modern world. The modern world has no respect for the divine of the design of divinity, which is encoded in the DNA. There's no respect at all. And that's why there's a lot of confusion. When you go against biological programming, which really is the programming of God, which is the programming of divinity, do you know what happens? You're going to feel lack of fulfillment that you're going to feel. It is literally there to help you, not hurt you. It's there to help guide you. You just have to understand it and be the person in the driver's seat. But it's almost like the DNA has given you the map. That's why you have an instinct. An instinct is all your past lives. I know that sounds crazy, right? But it actually is, because did you know the DNA records data? It's crazy, right? Just like a hard drive, it records data. And it's saying, oh, we've been in this situation before. This is the correct way. But you just got to learn how to interpret it. Thank you, Mary. That divinity can lead a man to you also. Facts. One of the things I released today, one of the latest TikTok videos, I said, did you know a man must be the most submissive? And he doesn't submit to his woman. He is the lead. She trusts him. She wants him to take charge, set the plan. It helps her feel safe and secure. But he must submit to divinity. Lillian, so you said, so women who can't have kids. What do you mean, though? But let's say she couldn't have kids. Generally, it kind of doesn't matter. We're still going to be attracted to certain things that are biologically ingrained. But of course, there still is some, you could say, space for cultural situations, individual situations to play a part, of course. Crown Jewels of the Most High said he submits to God first. Correct. Facts. I would say to a woman, do not submit to a man. And when we say submit, because some people get away about that word, what we mean is cooperation at the highest level. Do not give, and I would even say you shouldn't even be with a man that you couldn't do this with, but do not Do that with a man who does not submit to some form of higher power, principles, or guide in some way. It's dangerous. I wouldn't recommend it. I find women go into survival mode because they don't feel safe because of men's egos. What do you mean by that? You could be right. I want to know your perspective. Angelique said, you are very right in that one. Carol said, so true. Rebecca said, you get it. Keep dropping the knowledge. I will try my best. Oh, our likes have gone up. I love that. Wes said, women will submit to a man they love, admire, and respect. Those are all important components in a way. A woman could actually not love you and still, if she had the highest level of respect, she could definitely energetically submit to you. But the love and the admiration, especially being able to consciously make her feel safe, being able to consciously get her to believe in what you're saying and agree with what you're saying and see how it benefits her, that helps her to be mentally submissive. I'll talk about this another time, but it's almost like women have a submissive nature. Let's say, for example, someone said in the chat, submit to equality. I'll give you an example on that, right? How that's not actually the case. So a woman likes it when a man takes charge when it comes to dating. You just naturally like it. You like when he's the one setting the plan. Hey, we're gonna go here. One of the things that women complain about all the time, why is he asking me where we're gonna go? Just tell me. It's not that hard. Just set a plan. Why is he asking me what I want to do? But that same girl might say, I'm not submitting to a man. It shows that energetically that she wants to do that. But in this generation and in this, especially in this culture where women were programmed to be out of alignment with men, what you want to do is you want to consciously make her feel uncomfortable. So, for example, Joanne is saying, Wes, the world we live in has been designed to benefit the patriarchy system subordinate women. So if you was dealing with Joanna, or Joanne, I think that's how I say her name, you would have to consciously break down those concepts that she has, because she's been indoctrinated and programmed to believe in resistance towards men. But women actually love patriarchal power. They absolutely love it, and their suppression of it is why you have to line up like crazy to watch 50 Shades of Grey. But you know what it really is? I get it. Because there's a safety that she has to feel. There's a positivity that she has to feel. There's a lot of tags. Yeah, I was like, that is a lot of tags. We might have to mute that, you know. Good luck with that. F the patriarch, this is hilarious. It's not a good luck thing. It's what happens, you know. But hopefully you get with a man who you trust to lead. When a woman says and has that resistance, what happens? She lowers her standards, just as we was talking about before. We have to heighten our standards. Now you get with a man who isn't trustworthy, who isn't trustable in a leadership position. Because she is going to say, hey, like, for example, how many women in this chat have ever went to a club, right, and spoke to 10 men that night? No, you expected men to come to you. It's the natural order of things. But the only issue is you have to be very careful, because she's literally been programmed to be resistant to this information, because it keeps the family, keeps relationships separated. You cannot be a team without accepting two different positions in the team. My woman, she loves the fact she's not equal to me. Do you know why? That's why I'm willing to die for her, whoever that is. That's why I'm willing, when someone troubles us on the road, I'm going to step the F up and go, step the F back to whoever stepped to us. I would not expect her to do it. A woman with me doesn't have to worry about that. It's why I know it's my responsibility to make her feel safe. She doesn't have to have a responsibility to make me feel safe in the same way. It's why when there is some craziness, I will go sort it out. I will go sort it out. You don't have to worry, babe. It's okay. I got it. It's why I know as a man you have a responsibility to make her feel comfortable and secure. I can't do that with a girl who wants to butt heads with me. The issue is men who don't step up and take care of their responsibilities as a man. That's a good point. One of the, and I hope Joanne's still in here, even though what I'm saying is kind of in disagreement to you, I hope you don't take it personal. I love the fact that you give a different perspective. I actually love it. I hope you stay, right? You're welcome here anytime. But one of the things with that sort of mindset is that it actually lets men get away with not having to take on responsibilities as the masculine, right? So if she has this mindset of F the man and all of that, now that man don't have to be a man. He can still have you without having to take on the responsibilities of one. And that's what we see in this generation. This generation of men, they don't want to take on responsibility. They don't want to do the things that make a man a man. And it's like, it's funny. It's funny because it lets them get away with it. And now some men have realized that and they're like, wait, my role is to be a provider. I want to be a provider. That means I've got to work harder. Do you get what I'm saying? I now have to work harder. I don't want to work harder. These men, a lot of them don't want to be protectors and providers. What man really wants to say, I'm going to risk my life? Do you get what I'm saying? He doesn't want to say, why do I have to risk my life? I see guys saying that. I see guys saying, hold on. Hold on, guys. I see guys saying, right? These guys are saying, well, women say they like to be spoiled, And now these guys, because they're fighting for equality so much too, they're like, well, we should be spoiled too. Buy me flowers and chocolate. But they're not doing it because they really want flowers and chocolate. They're doing it because of this sense of we have to do the same thing. Women, how many of you want to buy your man flowers and chocolate? And it's nice. Your woman can get you stuff. And let's say if your birthday, if you doing your thing as a man, she will do that. She's going to buy you the PS5. You have no problem. Trust me. But if you want to be spoiled like women are spoiled, I ain't judging anyone. But that's that new generation stuff. If anyone's getting flowers, I'm giving my woman flowers. Baby, you don't need to get me flowers. Unless there's a reason. There has to be context to that. I just don't want my girl, hey, buying you a bouquet of roses. It's weird to me. But again, I don't want to judge anyone. I really don't. But Casey, thank you for the rose. Randy said some of these men want to be the women in a relationship, and that's what I'm saying. But it's down to the programming, Dave said I'm judging. That is funny. You said I spoil my partners anyway. Yeah, there's nothing wrong, with doing things for your partner. I believe in that. The women I've been with in my past, at least, they had no problem, getting things for me and stuff like that. They felt like that was an act of love, and I joyfully received that. But I'm saying I don't need to be spoiled like I spoil my woman. You do it in a different way. I don't need the same thing. Wes, facts. Because when you think about it, before that time, was there any of this, men wanting to be women wanting to be men? Before that time? The men back in the day, I want you guys to know this. The men back in the day didn't say, we don't want to be providers and protectors anymore. They never said, we're going to stop providing. That's not what we're supposed to do, it wasn't the men that said that. It wasn't the men that said that, guys. And it wasn't all the women either. But it was a group. It was a certain group. I'll let you guys, you guys know what it is. Elaine said, my man doesn't have to be all of that, but basic things really matter because I'm not even perfect. And that's great. I love the fact that you have that mindset. We don't have to go so high to the point of entitlement. Where said, because women want to do what men do nowadays, and that's fine, but it goes against biology. One of the most hurtful, heartbreaking things to see, especially in one of the top videos that, in terms of views that I have, it's pinned on my thing. It says, women like when men lead. And it's talking about the fact that because of role reversal, what has now happened is women just now take on both roles. So they do the feminine role and now the masculine role. It tires and it exhausts women out. And what they say is, I'm tired. That's the words you will see. They say, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. It feels like such a heavy weight. We've been speaking about standards today, right? If you speak to a man and you're getting to know him, right? In some way, you should speak about these concepts to him. Is he the type of guy that likes the idea of having heavy shoulders and burdening the weight of the family so you don't have to do it? I love the fact, right? I love the fact that it's unequal and it's unfair. And perhaps it is a heavy weight on me. But that's divinity's design. As I said earlier, right? A man should submit to divinity, to God, to nature, to universe, his understanding of the principles of life or his general rules. I've seen and can see that divinity designed it to be that I have to take the heavy burdens and weights. I don't like that. But it is what God's design is. I submit to God with no question. Astro Beam said, work too damn much, and that's what's unfair. We barely have time to properly connect. That's a fair expression. What do you mean exactly, though? I'd love to hear your perspective. Hold on. Mary, thanks for the rose. The Takia Supreme said, happening again now. What do you mean? Can you name some feminine traits that men look for in women? Men generally love softness. They love softness. They love gentleness. They love encouragement as well. Encouragement is a very, very sought after thing that men want. They love being appreciated too. A lot of men also don't mind taking on certain responsibilities, but they just want to be appreciated for it. Sherry said, good evening, Mr. Libra. How was your day? My day was good, my fellow Libra. Astro Weem said, we all work too much to live. We don't have time to connect anymore like we used to. That's a very good point, Life is not supposed to just be working for money, even though we think that's how it's supposed to be. It's not just supposed to be about that. Oh, Regina's a Libra too. Libra gang in the house. Balance, Jasmine, you said the problem with being the burden holder all the time, you don't have time to assess the burdens. What do you mean? Sounds interesting. Astro Beam said, most people work so much for their job and they lose the ability to think for themselves properly and make, let me see where else you said, and make aligned decisions. I could see that, and especially when you're just in work mode all the time, it takes you out of high frequency. You know? Your mind doesn't know peace. Hold on, let me just go back up. Phenomenal women. You said you're right, a lot of